So here's my argument. Nikki Haley and the Democrats have made an unholy alliance to try to stop Donald Trump by using the open primary states to try to deny him getting the nomination. And it's not going to work. We all see right through it. And if you think the Democrats going out to vote for Nikki Haley in the Republican primary are going to vote for her in the general election, you're either a drooling moron or Nikki Haley. Trump hit the 50% plus threshold in Iowa. He beat the effort to use crossover voters in New Hampshire. Haley's not even going to be in the Nevada caucus. And there was a moment of uncomfortable truth that came out of MSNBC's studios via Steve Kornacki.
We asked folks coming into the polls, do you identify as a Republican? Do you identify as a Democrat? Or do you identify as an independent? And here's what we found in this exit poll so far. And I think this jumps right out at you. A minority of voters in this first wave of the exit poll in the Republican primary identify as Republicans. A majority, 53%, identify as either independents, 45%, or, and this is a high number historically, 8% identify as Democrats. For some context here, in 2016, the last competitive Republican presidential primary in New Hampshire, the electorate was 55% Republican. It was 42% independent, and it was 3% Democratic. So in this initial wave, you're seeing some significant differences from 2016.
It's not like these voters are hiding it. They said it right on camera.
Christian, who did you vote for and why?
Yeah, so thank you. I voted for Nikki Haley, and it was certainly a strategic vote. I think the DNC is fairly resolute in their nomination for Joe Biden. And while I wouldn't vote for her in a general election, particularly on our differences with climate change solution, a women's right to bodily autonomy, or incarceration rates, I think a vote for Nikki Haley helps diminish Trump's influence in the RNC and their nomination, but is also a vote towards democracy.
And Christian is emblematic of so many conversations that I've had here throughout the day. Rachel?
Alex, Christian, thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's good to have that perspective.
That perspective? Yeah, before Junior there goes back to hit the bong, he should know that Nikki Haley's for abortion. Here's the doomsday news for this new partnership. 538 has Trump now up 37 points on Haley. Last week, it was 29. There it is. That's 538. So far, the polls have actually been on point with the results. But still, Nikki Haley says it's not over.
I want to congratulate Donald Trump on his victory tonight. He earned it, and I want to acknowledge that. Now, you've all heard the chatter among the political class. They're falling all over themselves, saying this race is over. Well, I have news for all of them. New Hampshire is first in the nation. It is not the last in the nation. This race is far from over. There are dozens of states left to go.
What part of the political class is supporting Trump? This is not a field of candidates where they descend on Iowa, and one wins, then another wins in New Hampshire, perhaps another wins in Nevada or South Carolina. Then they battle it out on Super Tuesday. Trump is sweeping and is going to bury her in her home state with the help of Tim Scott. Look, let's be honest, the general election has already begun. Normal Americans don't lie awake at night because of the mean tweets or a single social issue. They're kept up by whether or not they can fill their pantries and gas tanks, or are their kids' school budgets going to be busted by an influx of illegal immigrant kids? Or what is it going to mean if they have to pay higher taxes if the government has to spend even more to cover the cost of amnesty? Don't forget the foreign aid. Are we going to get into an unnecessary war? No new wars under Trump. The Democrats and the media can demonize people ready to vote for Trump all they want. It just makes people want to vote for Trump even more. Dean Phillips, Representative Dean Phillips, who's running an also-ran campaign against Biden as a primary, visited a Trump rally in New Hampshire.
And I got to tell you guys, I went to a Donald Trump rally a couple nights ago. Never been to one. I had an event across the street. I saw the line of people waiting in the cold for hours. And I thought, what the heck? You know, I'm going to be a leader who actually invites people, doesn't condemn them. Met probably 50 Trump people waiting in line. Every single one of them, thoughtful, hospitable, friendly. All of them so frustrated that they feel nobody's listening to them but Donald Trump. A diverse crowd, people who had never been to a Trump event before. My party is completely delusional right now. We have a
Wow, Dean Phillips. That sounds like the opposite of what the Democrats and the media have to say. These are normal people with real concerns, and your party has left them behind. You know, I have to admit, when I think about the general election, there's a dark part of me that just wants to see some of these people on the left lose their minds all over again, like it was 2016.
Donald J. Trump is now President of the United States. President of Mr. Trump, for the moment, steps forward for the inaugural address. What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald.
I love that. I do. I know that makes me a bad person, but you're laughing. These people only have themselves to blame. They really do. They've rallied around policy that failed everyone else, while they insulated themselves against the damage they did to people outside the walls of the political class. They took a for thee, not for me approach to the economy and things like education. And when people feel left behind and insulted, when half the country feels like the political class hates them, but will happily welcome in tens of millions of people from the third world and offer them housing, education, healthcare, all at our expense, do not be surprised if the same predictions from 2016 come out, oh, Donald Trump can't win, and then he does. But I can tell you right now, it's not going to be Nikki Haley, and that's my argument.